I'm Edna. Standing on this stage in front of 800 people, media, and federal investigators, I'm about to expose the dark secrets of my family. The room is hushed, and all eyes are on me. My heart is pounding, but I'm determined to tell the truth. It all started when I graduated with honors from Harvard University. I was so proud of my achievement, having worked tirelessly through college. I had a 3.8 GPA and an 85% merit scholarship, covering most of my tuition. I thought my future was bright, but little did I know, my own family was about to shatter my dreams. My family, the Johnsons, seemed perfect on the outside. My father, Henry Johnson, was a well-known business consultant, and my mother, Olivia Johnson, was a socialite. My older brother, Ethan, 32 years old, had a successful career in finance, driving a Porsche and living in a penthouse in New York City. I, on the other hand, was always the overlooked one. After graduation, I started applying for accounting jobs. I sent out countless applications, but every time, I faced rejection. I couldn't understand why. I had prepared well for interviews, given strong answers, and recruiters seemed interested at first. But after the background checks, it was always the same story: we've decided to pursue other candidates. I was starting to lose hope. My father would often say, "Girls like you will never make it in the corporate world. That diploma is just a piece of paper. You're not cut out for this." His words were like daggers in my heart. One day, I received a certified letter from a debt collection agency. It claimed that I owed $450,000 in defaulted student loan debt. I was shocked. I had never taken out any student loans. I immediately checked my credit report and found 8 delinquent accounts in my name, all opened between 2014 and 2018 when I was still in high school or college. I started to dig deeper. I found that the disbursement addresses of these loans were all related to Ethan's properties. I hired a skip tracer, and it turned out that the bank accounts where the loans were deposited were in Ethan's name, with my father as a co-signer on some of them. I also noticed that I was getting anonymous tips sent to the companies I applied to, claiming that my degree was fraudulent. I contacted the university registrar, and they confirmed that my degree was real, but they had received multiple verification requests, some with tips about fraud. I decided to confront my family. I called a family dinner and brought all the evidence I had gathered. When I presented it, my mother looked at me with concern and said, "Edna, are you sure you're okay? This sounds a bit paranoid." Ethan laughed it off and said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." My father, on the other hand, was cold. He said, "You're just frustrated because you can't find a job. Accusing your family of fraud is ridiculous. You need to see a therapist." I was furious. I told them I was filing a police report. My father threatened me, saying, "You're ruining your life. No employer will hire someone who accuses their own family. I have connections in the industry, and I'll make sure you never work in accounting again." Just when I was at my lowest, I received an interview request from Sterling Financial Verification. I almost didn't go, but I had nothing to lose. The CEO, Mr. Thompson, was a former FBI agent with years of experience in forensic background checks. During the interview, he asked me about my repeated rejections. I told him that someone was sabotaging me. To my surprise, he believed me. He examined my diploma, called the university to verify it, and then delved into my credit report. He noticed that the first loan was opened when I was 16, which was illegal. He also compared my real signature with the ones on the loan applications. The differences were obvious. He said, "Someone practiced your signature, but they're not you." We then traced the anonymous tip emails. 48 out of 52 of them came from the same IP address, which was registered to my father's consulting firm. Mr. Thompson said, "This is conspiracy, defamation, and possibly wire fraud." He offered me a job as a background verification analyst, legal support, and a chance to present my case at the National Accounting and Finance Professionals Summit. I knew this was my chance to expose the truth. In the weeks leading up to the summit, Mr. Thompson's team worked tirelessly to gather more evidence. They subpoenaed loan servicers, bank records, and my father's business phone records. The evidence was damning. My father tried to stop me. He called me, threatened me, and even sent a cease and desist letter. But I was determined. My mother came to my apartment, crying, and asked me to stop, saying that my father was just trying to protect me. I told her that she had been blind for too long. On the day of the summit, I was nervous but ready. I put on my new suit, and Mr. Thompson picked me up. He told me to stick to the facts and let the evidence speak. As I stepped on the stage, I saw my family sitting in the third row. My father was confident, my mother was pale and nervous, and Ethan was angry. I took a deep breath and started my speech. I told the audience about my struggle to find a job, the false student loans, and the sabotage. I showed the forensic analysis of the signatures, the bank records, and the email trails. When I played the recording of my father admitting that he had made calls to blacklist me, the room was silent. Then, the FBI agent stood up and arrested my father. Ethan was also under investigation. My mother tried to approach the stage, crying and apologizing, but I couldn't forgive her so easily. After the summit, the FBI investigation continued. They confirmed every detail of my case. In the end, my father pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including identity theft, student loan fraud, and wire fraud. He was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison and ordered to pay $450,000 in restitution. Ethan was also charged and faced several years in prison. My credit score was restored, and I received the restitution money. I donated $250,000 to a scholarship fund for fraud victims and kept the rest for my future. Mr. Thompson promoted me to a senior position, and I now lead a team to help others who have suffered from family financial fraud. I've also started therapy to deal with the trauma. Looking back, I realize that I didn't lose my family, they lost me. I've learned that justice and boundaries are more important than revenge. I'm no longer defined by what they did to me, but by how I overcame it. If you're watching this and you've been through something similar, I want you to know that you're not alone. Check your credit report, report any fraud, and don't let your family's cruelty define you. You can get your future back, just like I did.